Good morning, and it's going to be a very short message, short and to the point, and it's what it is. Well, this morning I want to really talk about the death of illusion. That's the subject that I want us to consider. And being that there are many of us here, this will be quite brief. So Facebook, welcome. It's good to have you guys with us. And this morning I want to talk about death of an illusion. That is the subject matter. And, I just want us to understand that there are things that are always around us that may appear one way, but it's actually another. And until we take the chance to go past the illusion to see exactly what is happening and what God is trying to say to us, we will constantly be caught in cycles. Cycles that really should not be able to hold us, but they hold us by the power of our mind. They hold us by the power of our thinking. They hold us by the power of our wrong thinking. Cycles that do need to be broken. And the only way we can have wrong thought is by being caught up in the illusion of a thing rather than the reality of a thing. So what I love about Jesus is that Jesus always dealt with the reality of a thing. He came after the institutionalized church in his day because he wanted to destroy the fallacy of the illusion of what they were building. They wanted men to see them in a certain light, so they did certain things. They wore certain garments. They had certain audiences. They had hierarchies. But Jesus began to break all of that down because he wanted to destroy the illusion of power to show you what true power was. Even in scripture, David, which was Jesus' forefather, which was his great, many greats over his grandfather, would begin to say something like that we have the form of godliness, but we deny the power thereof. And when you deny the power, you get caught and trapped in an illusion. You get caught and trapped in a reality that is really not built on substance, but it is built on wrong information. It is built on misconceptions. It is built on wrong thinking, working wrong principles. But I do believe that we are living in a day and a time, especially in this information age, where there is coming death to all illusions, whether it be governmental, whether it deals with religion, whether it deals with those family secrets that a lot of families may have, most have. So, here, I want us to realize there was something that Socrates said. And Socrates said that death may be the greatest of all human blessings. And I believe he said that because he recognized death for what it really was. Death was a vehicle to take you from one reality to the next. It was to take you from one set of circumstances to the next. Death is never final. Death is only secular. If we look at the seasons, we see that every year winter comes. And then every year spring comes right after winter. So whenever we see that there has been something that has died, that means that there is something that is being birthed, that is about to live, that is about to bring forth its fruit in its season. But in order for it to bring forth fruit in its season, something has to die. There are some old ways, there are some old plans, there are some old strategies, There are some old thinkings that must die in order that we must embrace the idea that is relevant in the moment. Faith is a idea that is relative in the moment. That's why when Paul spoke about faith, he spoke, now faith is, because it was relative to the moment. And if we miss the moment, we end up throwing away our faith and casting away our faith and casting away our confidence because we missed the moment that faith was meant to empower. So, again, we're talking about death of illusion, death of an illusion. And if I had to choose a scripture to use, the scripture would be found in Ecclesiastes, where it begins to talk about to every season and to every that there is a purpose to every time and to every season. And I really do believe that the Father does not want us to miss our purpose in our time and in our season. But if we're moving out of step and if we're moving out of sync, we're moving out of time. So therefore, we have to really make up in our minds to search out, well, Father, what is your timing? Give me the strategy of your timing so that my faith can live and thrive in the moment that you have allotted to it. So, many of us know that, there's a time to be born and there is a time to die. There are many things that we have birthed in the beginning of this year that really won't make it over into next year because its time would have expired. So if we remain dealing with expired ideas and expired thoughts and expired plans, we end up bringing an old plan into a new situation. And the new situation cannot thrive off of an old plan. A new situation cannot live off of an old plan. An old plan has had its time. And when its time has been met, we must realize that there is a new plan, there is a new strategy, there is a new word, there is a new instruction because we are on a new road. So if you're trying to work out an old plan in a new road, in a new place, your road and your place will become hell to you because you have not expressed or experienced the heaven that moment held. The heaven that moment holds is the faith that is being manifested. The heaven that moment holds is the faith that is being birthed and realized. But if you are not realizing the faith in the moment, then you are now destroying the possibilities and the potential of your manifestation. So, we must realize that death is a revealer. See, it tells you of every hidden truth. If you ever notice when someone in the family dies, they can't take their secrets with them. When someone in the family dies, every good thing is known about them and every bad thing is found out about them. Because death is a revealer. Death has no respect of person because death's only job is to get you to the next place. Even as Jesus hung on the cross and he was dying, death began to reveal something about everybody that was right there on those three crosses. It revealed about one thief that he had an issue with Jesus. He had an issue with what he stood for, and he began to say, shouldn't he die just like us? He's on the same cross we're on. So it revealed a character flaw within the thief. But on the other hand, on the other side of Jesus, in that thief, it revealed a compassion. It revealed an honesty, an honest introspection concerning his own work and the one he was next to. And he began to say, listen, Do you not know who this man is? He does not deserve what we deserve because he had not done what we have done. So, in that moment, even the thief had a moment of integrity. Even the thief had a moment of honesty. And in that moment, even Jesus himself, Jesus was challenged. I'm dealing with my own situation. I'm going through my own issue. I'm here on this cross suffocating to death. I'm here suffocating because I'm in a position that is uncomfortable. How many of us have been in positions that were uncomfortable and we feel like we were suffocating? How many of us have been in positions where we were uncomfortable and we feel like we were being strangled by the pressures of life, being strangled by the institution that we may be involved in, being strangled by people who really don't care about us but want to use us for what we have, being strangled, but yet still in that moment, the mastermind, Jesus, he began to say, listen, this day you will be with me in paradise. He reached past what he was going through, what he was dealing with, what he was seeing, and he began to show compassion back to those who showed compassion to him. And then his compassion even reached over to the thief who was not showing compassion. That's because in death, I believe that Jesus had received a revelation. He had received the revelation that, hey, guess what? I thought death was final. But guess what? In 3 days, he had received the manifestation of the true nature of what death represented. Nothing escapes the investigative scope of death. Nothing escapes it. It is one we all have to go through. Every person, every institution, every concept and idea must go through the portal of death. Everything. I don't care if it's dealing with humanity. I don't care if it's dealing with institutions. Everything must go through death. I realized that my spiritual father died 2 months ago. And I realized that in his death, there were some things that were revealed. Some good and some bad. My job was never to judge what was revealed. My job was to learn from what was revealed. The problem is, we're so busy judging what is revealed that we're not learning from what is revealed. And then we are not implementing what we have learned by what was revealed. So therefore, we repeat the same cycles over and over and over again. See, every life will experience multiple deaths. For death is nothing but a portal to a deeper seasoned life. If at some point in my journey I did not leave Pilgrim, I would have never been here at Rafa. If at some point I did not leave Pilgrim to go to True Worship, I would not have been here at Rafa. If I didn't leave True Worship to go to Fresh Beginnings, to go to Pilgrim of Harlem, I would not have experienced Pilgrim of Harlem. I would have missed those 3 years that my brother lived. Because I would have been holding on to something that was not in the moment, empowered by faith. It was by faith that I moved into the next moment. It was by faith that I had that experience to see my brother for those last 3 years. It was in that moment. It was in that moment. If I didn't move from Fresh Beginnings to Rafa, I would have missed the moment of being here at Rafa, making my impact. The question is, what are we holding on to that is causing us to miss our moment? What are we holding on to that is causing us to miss our moment that will not only impact us, but impact those that are around us, our family members, our children, our communities? So we have to understand that, yeah, death comes, but death does not come to finalize anything. Death comes to mature everything. Death comes to lend you to the next step. Death comes to bring you to a new position. If my mother had not died, I would not have become more of a responsible person, because I would have still been dealing or putting all my problems in my mother's hands, expecting her to, hey, Mom, you got to help me out with this. I had to learn how to grow up. I had to learn how to mature. When we hold on to dead things, it stunts the maturity that we are required to do every day. When we hold on to dead things, it stunts the growth that we are required to make every day. And if we are not growing, then we are always caught in a cycle and in a state of death. If we allow ourselves to be caught in a state of death, if we allow ourselves to be trapped in a state of death, instead of moving from death is supposed to be moving you to the next place. But when you're holding on to something that is dead, it traps you in a loop. And you're constantly reliving things, dead things over and over, dead plans, dead strategies, doing the same things over and over. My grandfather was on the corner smoking, so now I'm on the corner smoking because my daddy was on the corner smoking. So my kids see me doing the same thing, and he relives the same cycle. Instead of somebody getting up doing something, going to school, getting a job, starting a business, doing something that will begin to push the family line to another place. Also, the question that needs to be asked is, when does a destructive dogma and doctrine die? When do we let go of those things that are no longer serving us? Whether it be within the religious institution, or whether it be in the community, or whether it be in the governmental institutions, when will we let go of dogma that's not serving us? At some point, I'll give you an example. In the 60s and the 50s, marching was great, and it worked for the civil rights movement. And they continued to make strides because they peacefully marched and peacefully did what they had to do. But marching is not working today. What is it that we have to do today? What is the new plan that we have to embrace today? That we can make sure that we are not pushed out of our own communities because of gentrification. To make sure that we're not pushed out of our homes because of a religious dogma, because of any issues. How do we deal with the dogmas? How do we deal with those things that seem to choke out the life and crucify us afresh? It was never our jobs to be crucified. That's why Jesus was crucified in our place. But we seem to have this sadomasochistic thinking that we must suffer like he suffered. No. He suffered so we would not have to suffer. The problem is we suffer because we do not follow the example that was left. And we constantly lock ourselves into an illusion that seems to say the more you suffer, the more you'll get in the afterlife. But I'm not interested in getting more in the afterlife. I want to maximize what I have now. God gave me life today so that I can see manifestation today, not when I die. So how will I dismantle this illusion? How will I bring death to this illusion that we seem to be caught up in? Let's name some of the illusions that some of us are caught up in. Some of us are caught up in an illusion at 45 years old that we're going to be the next biggest rapper. Some of us are caught up in the illusion that Donald Trump is going to make America great again. Some of us are caught up in the illusion that our religious institutions are going to continue to stand and thrive even though they won't change some of the things that they know are a hindrance to it growing. Some of the illusions that we're caught up in is the fact that, oh, guess what? I know I drink, but I can stop at any time I want. I know I do drugs a lot, but I can stop at any time I want. And we keep saying we can, and yes, we can, but the question isn't can you, the question is will you? The question is will you? And the power is found in the will you. Because it is by the will and the testament of the testator that you will overcome. will to overcome, you're going to make it. Uncle Charlie, you a prime example of that. You was right up here. You was right here, gangbanging, doing what you was doing. But you had a will to get out. You had a will to do right by your kid. You had a will to make sure that the legacy that your mother left with you would live on. And you also had a will to establish yourself as a man. But in order for that to have happened, you had to come against some real illusions that were facing you. The gang life, it was cool for a minute, but I began to realize that this is an illusion, and it's only there because something else was missing. I need to find something else. How many of you need to find something else? How many of us need to find something else? If we're going to constantly define our lives by things going past, you will always be what you were and not what you can become. See, when we let go of destructive dogma and doctrine, what happens is our lives begin to change. We don't lock the God in us to a place that is dead. And when you do lock the God in you to a place that is dead, you know what happens? You begin to resurrect issues you should have got passed by.
Oh, wait a minute. Say that again.
If you keep on letting the God in you reside in a place that is dead, you will constantly resurrect issues that you should have gotten past and gotten over and gotten through and gotten by. You keep bringing it back because you apply your power in that position. But God is telling us to change our posture and change our position. The way things are won't be the way they should stay unless you deem it so. There has to be a will in you to move to the next level. There has to be a will in you to go to the next place. There has to be a will in you. And sometimes things will happen to force us to the next place. If I was a Christian fundamentalist, I would say, oh, the devil is at work. And because I am a person who deals in reality, I understand that most times the devil that's at work is the devil that's in me. That part of me that deceives myself. That part of me that devalues who I am in the sight of God. That's what the word devil means, devaluer, deceiver. I'm not looking for someone or something with horns. I'm looking in the mirror, realizing how long I've devalued my own ideas and my own strategies. How long have I devalued my own family and my own children and my own life? How long have I deceived myself thinking that working a scheme was going to bring me what I needed instead of working a plan that will take me to another place, to a better place, to a wealthy place? See, when we let the dogma and the doctrine die, it will reveal the deeper life meaning and truth that is hidden away in ancient texts. The reason why people today have problems with the scripture is because they read it, but they can't translate it. Just because I can read something doesn't mean I have the right translation. I'll give you an example. In the 60s, if a Caucasian brother was to walk up to you and say, "What's up, nigger?" it didn't have the same connotation that it would have today if someone came up to you and said, "Hey, my nigger." So, if we see those words written down in the book, the only way we can distinguish between the two is the ER and the A. One has an ER, one has an A. But if you are a child and you have not been taught on the history of the word, you're just reading and you don't know how to translate what's being read. So my question is, what part of our lives have others been reading but have not translated correctly? What parts of our lives have we been allowing others into and reading? They've read your life. They know, they know, you used to fight. They know, you used to be out there selling drugs. Yeah, they know, oh man, you remember him, son? He can play ball, son. Not realizing that somewhere on in your journey, you blew your knee out. So ball was not on your destination anymore. You had to move someplace else. You had to call the close to where you were to begin again somewhere else. But if we're not careful and we continue to let our lives be dictated by people who cannot translate the word that is written on our hearts, guess what? They will keep us in despair. They will keep us living in. You remember when you used to be, man, remember when you used to dunk that ball like that? Like, bro, you know my knee's blown out. Why are you bringing that up?
Right.
Now, you're causing me pain because I'm reminiscing on something that doesn't even exist anymore. I'm reminiscing on a past that doesn't even exist anymore. Most of us are reminiscing on a past that doesn't exist anymore. Most of us are in churches dealing with a past of a glorious church, but now they're down to 60 and 100 members, and that glory has long faded because they have not updated themselves. They have not called a close to one place. They have not allowed illusions to die. These illusions of power, these illusions of grandeur, these illusions of thinking that God is speaking to me, but causing others harm, that is an illusion. Because if God is truly speaking to you, it's not going to be for you to cause somebody else harm. That's not what love does. And the scripture lets us know that God is love. I'm almost done. See, we have to realize, just like we update our computers, when you update your computer, the last system you had to die in order for the system that you're implementing to work. So it is in life. There are some systems that must die in order for us to update where we are, to update our lives. If we keep living lives and not updating our life, you know what happens? Just like with a computer, the system crashes. You wonder why you're hysterical and you're worrying and you're wondering why things ain't working. It's because your system has crashed. Your way of doing things has crashed. It doesn't work anymore. God is trying to put you on another road. If you notice, whenever there is a car accident or a crash on the road, they divert you to another place. Because if you stay on the same road, you're going to be stuck or you're going to move very, very slow. And either way, it'll be hard to make it to your destination in the timing that you're supposed to. And when you don't make it to your destination in the timing that you're supposed to, something dies. And now you have to be rerouted and recalculated. But some of us don't follow that internal GPS. Some of us don't follow that internal GPS that tells us, listen, this ain't working no more. Go to the next road. No. The quickest way to get where you want to go is going down a road you wouldn't normally go down. Yeah, it seems like it's harder to go that road because it seems like, the roads are slimmer, so it makes me a little uncomfortable to drive down the road because now I have to make sure that I don't hit nothing on the way. But when you take the right road, no matter how uncomfortable you are, you end up at your destined place at the time you're supposed to. But when you miss, guess what? You have to recalculate. And when your inner GPS recalculates, you lose time. What should have took you 10 minutes now takes you 30 minutes. For the children of Israel going through the wilderness, a trip that should have only took them a few weeks took them 40 years because they did not recalculate, because they were caught up in an illusion. They were still caught up in Pharaoh's illusion. Some people have implanted illusions within you. They have implanted their fears in you. Some of the things we're scared of not because we're scared of them. We're scared because our parents were scared of them. We're scared because our friends were scared of them. We're scared because the TV and the doctors on TV said, well, you know, this is what's going on. And now we have adopted the fears of others. And we're living out their fears. But it's time to call a death to that illusion. It's time to call a death to every illusion that will not allow you to grow. To every illusion that will not allow you to mature. To every illusion that will not allow you to be great. If you're not allowing me to be great, guess what? You ain't on my team. You might be in my circle, but you was never in my corner. And that's the problem. We got people who are in our circles, but they're not in our corner. So when we're back against the wall, into the corner, when we're back into a corner, we ain't got nobody pushing us because the circle never made it to the corner. See, death is what updates life. It keeps things current and living in the now. It is where faith has its seal of power. It is so interesting that the same thing that causes people to live is the same things that will cause certain relationships to die. If you believe in yourself well enough, the people that don't believe in you, you got to cut those relationships. I love you, but I got to love you from over there. You my boy, but you got to be my boy from over there. Because you are not helping me be great. You're not helping me unlock the greatness that is within me. The scripture says, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So the way I would interpret that is, greater is the potential that's in me than what is already manifested here in the world. There's a greater you that the Father is trying to pull out of you, but in order for him to do that, you have to latch on your faith to what he's doing within you, and you have to also latch onto your faith on who he's going to allow you to do it without. There's some people that he's going to allow you to do it without. There are some institutions that he's going to allow you to do it without. Hey, you may take my home, but you ain't take my heart. You may take my comfort, but you will never take my ability to care. And what is amazing is that the ability to care will help you survive uncomfortable situations. See, we have attributed so many negative things to death that we refuse to see the gift that it really is. Remember, death is not final. Death of a loved one is not final. Death of a plan is not final. Death there is nothing final. There's a saying that we usually say that we don't realize the power in it. Death is only a part of life, which goes to say that life is the bigger thing. Which goes to say that life is the thing that is in control. Which goes to say that death, it matriculates you from one area of life to the next area of life. From the room to the mansion. If all we want to be are hood niggas, then we always going to be hood niggas. And we'll never be rich black men, entrepreneurs, kings and queens, doing what we're supposed to do because we're so busy holding on to a hood nigga mentality. At some point, the gift of death is literally telling you to call a benediction, call a close to a certain part of your life that is not producing anymore. This is not producing anymore. Get away from there. Move from there. Get out of there. Because some way it's poisoning your system. In some way it's destroying your system. to let you know that at some point, if we do not cause a revolution in our own lives, we will continue to be stuck going in circles. And isn't it something that the word revolution is just another word for circle? But if you do not cause a revolution in your life, you will not enter into new circles. You will not enter into new places. You'll be stuck on the axis of your pain. You'll be stuck on the axis of your hurt. You'll be stuck on the axis of your issue. Going in circles. Going in circles. You wonder why some people are dizzy? You know why some of these women are dizzy? It's because they're going in circles. You want to know why we got some of these dudes acting like ditzy blondes? It's because they're going in circles. Because they have not called a death of the illusion that was holding them captive. What illusion is holding you captive that you need to escape from? What illusion is holding you captive that you need to break free from? What illusion is holding you captive that you won't admit the reality of? See, the final enemy, which is death, is overcome because we've learned to reconcile death and life. It's not overcome because Jesus is riding on the bright horse and he's going to stop there and ooh. No. When you learn how to reconcile life and death, you bring a close to death being an enemy for you. See, I know my mother may not be here physically, but I know you could not kill the essence of who she was. My brother may not be here. Some of my brothers may not be here physically, but you could not kill the spirit of who they were. You cannot. In fact, at some point, you will have to allow them to minister to you in a different way. Oh, you sound like you're talking about seances and death. No, what I'm talking about is being surrounded by a great cloud of witness. We are surrounded by a great cloud of witness. We are surrounded, whether it be within our families, whether it be within our culture, whether it be within our religion. We are surrounded by a great cloud of witness. They've witnessed things that they can advise you on. They have gone through things that they can help you get through. So you don't know. Sometimes they'll visit you in a dream. God will use their face to motivate you and inspire you to move to the next place. Instruct you. But it's up to us to finally call a death to the illusion. If we do not kill the illusion will kill us. If we do not kill the illusion of everything is okay and the system is working, you know good and darn well the system ain't working. You know it's not working. You know how you know? Because the way it used to thrive, it's not thriving anymore. You know it's not working. So I ask you, like Paul asked, what did hinder you that you don't run anymore? I'm just waiting for God. You ain't waiting for God for nothing. God is waiting for you. He's already at the end of the finish line. He done already did all he's going to do. He's waiting for you to do your part. And your part is calling a death to the things that no longer serve you. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. This is the knowledge that destroys the illusion of a falsely defined death. See, it restores to you memory. It restores to you the reason and purpose of death. and how to use it as an effective tool for your growth and maturity. Everything that you go through, make sure that it works towards your growth and your maturity. Everything that you're in, make sure it grows you and matures you. If you are not growing, then you are dying. Anything, well, I'm just standing here waiting. The laws of physics state that anything that is standing still is moving backwards. It is up to you to make a move. It is up to you to make a decision that will thrust you into a new life. Guess what? This old life can't happen no more because the players in the old life ain't here anymore. Or the players in the old life haven't updated themselves to become players in the new life. So I've got to move so that I can keep on living. I got to keep living. I got to keep thriving. I got to keep growing. I got to keep becoming. I got to keep on maturing. I got to mature. I got to mature. I got to mature. I have to mature. Because if I don't mature, what happens is I'll let everything that I see interrupt the process of me growing. I'll let everything that I see kill the drive in me to keep on moving. I'll let everything that I see minister illusion unto me. Some of us are stuck in fear because of an illusion. Stuck. Oh, what? You know you have a ministry. You know you have a business. You know you have things that you should be doing right now. You know. But you know why you can't obtain the blessing or you know why you can't obtain the business happening or things happening? Because you're so scared. Because you're so scared. Move past fear. Once you move past fear, you've already destined yourself for something to happen. The reason why nothing is happening in your life is because you haven't moved past fear. You haven't called a death to that illusion. So whatever the illusion may be, whether it be governmental, whether it be religious, whether it be personal, embrace death for what it truly is. It is not final, but death is there to usher you into the next place. Death got on his white gloves, standing at the door, waiting to seat you in places of power. Imagine if Jesus never died. Imagine. Would his impact have reached as far as it has today? Because without him dying, he doesn't rise again. But like the phoenix from the ashes, rise again. Rise again to a new life. Rise again to a new idea. Rise again to a new strategy. Rise again to a new hope. This ain't it for us. But there's more. There's more to happen. There's more to be. There's more. In fact, how about we just look at each other and say, listen, to be continued. There's more. There's more. There's sequels and prequels and trilogies that are supposed to be happening in our lives that we're not experiencing because we haven't called a close. We haven't called a death to the illusion. To everything there is a season. To everything there is a time and a season. Guess what, guys? At some point, you're going to either have to let go or be dragged. It's a harsh truth, but it's a real truth. You're going to either have to let go or you're going to have to be dragged. And some of us need a dragging because we don't understand that what we've been holding on to is much more painful than where we're trying to go. See, in scripture, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. Jesus says that my loving kindness is better than life. See, he said, if I be lifted, if the mastermind idea, Jesus represents the mastermind. Jesus represents the higher self. Jesus represents the best part of you. If the best part of you is lifted up, guess what happens? He draws all other provision, all other men, all the people that should be in your circle and in your corner, he draws them to you. The mastermind draws it to you. The higher self draws it to you. That ability to be your best self draws it to you. And that word draw in the Greek is a word called suru. And it literally means to drag. Sometimes we don't want to do what we need to do, but purpose will drag you to the next place. Nah, bro, this ain't where you're supposed to be. Nah, bro, I lost my apartment. You lost your apartment because that wasn't where you're supposed to be. You right there in the middle of the stuff that keeps you down. Yo, I love that girl, man. You don't know I love her, man. I love her. Yeah, you love that girl, but that same girl is sleeping on your friends. She's no good for you. Oh, yeah, I love him. I love that man so much. Yeah, you love him so much, but look in the mirror. Look at your eye blackened. Look at your jaw broken. Purpose will drag you to a place where you can be provided with love. It will pull you, purpose will pull you to where you can be in a situation that is a safe space. If your church is not providing a safe space, get out. If your community is not providing a safe space, get out. It ain't saying that you can't come back and make it what it needs to be, but you got to save yourself first. I can't help my daughter if I don't save me first. I can't help my loved ones if I don't save me first. And the way that you save yourself is bringing death, bringing close to every illusion that is in your life. I recognize certain institutions and certain things in my life are not what they were. So I can't expect the integrity that I used to expect from them. And maybe some of this stuff was always going on and I was just too immature and naive and young to realize it. But what I do know is that the power for us to move is in the now. The power for us, death is always trying to keep you present. It's always trying to keep you present. It's not trying to push you to no future thought or no past thought. It's trying to keep you present. Okay, mama's gone. What you gonna do? Okay, daddy's not here no more. What you gonna do? You may have lost a child. But what are you gonna do from here when you have other children? It's trying to keep you present. If we learn how to harness the power that God has given us, it says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Think about things in a different way than you've thought about them before. And death is one of those things. Yeah, there's some negative connotations to it, but look and see it for what it really is. It ain't final. It's not final. Death is only forward motion. It's not final. So with that being said, hopefully this has helped you in some way. Hopefully this has touched you in some way. Hopefully this message resonates with you in some way. And guess what? If it does, I'm asking you that you would share this. Let somebody else hear this message. Let somebody else feel the spirit and the energy of this message. Let them know that we're being called to another place, a better place, better promises, better things. But we can't receive better holding on to the status quo. So with that, I would ask that you guys out there on Facebook, I would ask that y'all would pray for our spiritual advisor and our spiritual founder, Mikael L. Keep him in your prayers. Pray for all the religious institutions within our city. Pray that they would get some sense and that they would come to grips that it's time to do something different than what we've been working. The old tricks ain't gonna work no more. The old shenanigans ain't gonna work no more. Not in this information age. You'll destroy yourself trying to hold on to an old system that was meant to die. Let's call our country to prayer. Because we have a fool in office that's trying to bring back the 50s and the 60s, the 40s, talking about making America great again. He don't know nothing about America's greatness because he ain't even American. The greatness of America was built on the back of a black man. Built on the nipples of a black woman who was nurturing white children. It's time for us to tell the truth, because it is the truth that's going to set you free from the illusion. That's all it really is. If we really learn, when you tell the truth, you set yourself free from the illusion that's holding you captive. Tell the truth and sell it not. Buy the truth, sell it not. If you apply the truth, you will apply greatness to your life. When you apply the truth, you dress yourself in greatness. When you apply the truth, you dress yourself in wealth. Because that's the truth of who we are. When you apply the truth, you dress yourself in healing. That's who you are. You're not sick. The truth of you is healing. The truth of you is wealth. The truth of you is overcoming. The truth is you never the tail, but always the head. The only way I can be the tail is if I'm waiting my turn. That's what the true meaning of the head and the tail. That's the truth of it. The truth of the fact is that to be the head and not the tail means that at some point I'm at the front of the line. But once I've been served, I go to the back of the line like everybody else. And I got to learn the lessons that come with the line. You got to learn the lessons that come with the line. That's a whole other message all by itself. So with that being said, if you guys would want to bless Rafa, you can bless Rafa through the Cash App, which is, I believe, Rafa Center at Cash App, Rafa Center, or you can make a donation to Rafa. You can come in on our days. Wednesdays we have a chess program here where we challenge the young people in the community to strategize with chess. Also, we have a workout team here that will help you become your best you physically, ran by our Sabrina Lewis. And it's just so much that we're trying to do in the community. But we can't do it without your help. So, that being said, we love you and continue to pray. Continue to pray for all of our leadership at large. Political, governmental, religious, family, whatever it is. We got to do better, y'all. We got to come better. We got to move better. If we don't move better, guess what's going to happen? We're going to get dragged. I don't want to be dragged. Love y'all.